The no call that drives me crazy. Nothing gets under my skin more than when we're wrestling neutral. We go out of bounds with no significant action, and there's no stall call. That gets really frustrating in the corner. Last year I know the point of emphasis was on stalling and keeping the match in the center. And early in the season, and it was explained to us as coaches, and I felt like every time someone went out of bounds, there's a stall call. If you didn't circle in, you're getting called for stalling. If you're, straight arm pushing somebody out, you're getting called for stalling. If there's no offensive attempt, at the edge of the mat, there's out of bounds. Someone is getting called for stalling. And then it seemed about mid-season and kind of after Christmas, I'd go to some tournaments, and that call stopped being made. The thing that makes me the most angry about that is, well, first of all, is a point of emphasis. So we really worked on it in practice and circling in and working the edge of the mat into our advantage. But if that's inconsistently called, when it comes time for regionals in the state, suddenly that stall call returns and the wrestlers aren't used to it. They're used to being able to walk out of bounds and not get the call. So, I think there's just was a disconnect. And sometimes I think in girls wrestling, we feel like we got to give them a little nudge. Like even when we first started, we were laxed on calling locked hands, and we were relaxed on calling just different things. Maybe the cautions. But if we don't do it right throughout the season, when it comes time for postseason, it really does hurt our athletes. So how can we consistently make that call? I think my answer to that is that step out point. Freestyle uses it. I think it would be a great addition to folk style wrestling, not just at the high school level, but I think at the college level. I think we saw that in several matches this year in the national tournament. If there would have been a step out point, the matches would have gone differently. What does it do? It takes away that inconsistency of stall calls. Anytime that person steps out of bounds, that foot's out, there's a point awarded to the other person. Uh, it's clean, it's fast, makes matches faster. Definitely no second guessing on rule enforcement, and just keeps the sport moving forward. On the podcast, I always ask girls, if you could change one rule, what would it be? And overwhelmingly, the step out point is brought up, and they think it's a great addition to the thing. I know that there's several officials that would like it. We do it in the preseason and postseason when we do modified folk style. I really think it's a great idea. Let me know what you think. Let me hear about it. Hey, and just remember, wrestling is what we do. It's not who we are.